So, you want to land a job as a business intelligence engineer at Amazon. Well, today, we're cracking the code on their notoriously tough interview. It's a real gauntlet, but stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll have the exact map you need to navigate it.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This right here, that's a direct quote from someone who actually went through the whole thing and came out on top. It just goes to show, with the right strategy, this whole process is absolutely winnable.
But what does it really take to land a coveted L5 role at a place like Amazon? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. We are going to break down every single step, from that first online test all the way to the final offer negotiation. This is the playbook.
Okay, let's dive right in. First up, we're going to look at the big picture, the entire journey from the second you hit apply to the moment you get that offer.
So the specific role we're zoning in on is the Business Intelligence Engineer 2, or L5. And you've got to understand, this isn't just any role. It's a really critical mid-level position, right at the heart of Amazon's whole data-driven machine.
And here it is, the full roadmap. It all kicks off with an online assessment. Then you've got a recruiter screen, followed by a chat with the hiring manager. After that, you're thrown into the deep end with the interview loop. That's 4 rounds. Then you face the legendary bar raiser, and finally, you get to the offer. It's a marathon for sure, not a sprint.
All right, so let's break that marathon down, piece by piece. We'll start with the very first hurdles, those initial screenings designed to weed people out and narrow the field.
Now, these first 2 tests, they couldn't be more different. First, you've got the online assessment. Think of it as a 1-hour automated challenge full of SQL multiple-choice questions and coding problems. If you pass that, you move on to the hiring manager screen. This is a whole different ballgame. Now you're coding live, you're explaining your thought process out loud, and you're tackling product-related questions. It's a huge shift from just pure technical skill to actually applying it and communicating how you solve problems.
Okay, so you've cleared those first hurdles. Now you're entering the main event. This is the big one. A marathon of 4 back-to-back interviews designed to test you from absolutely every angle.
Yep, you heard that right. 4, back-to-back. This is the core of the whole Amazon process, what they call the loop. It's this super intense evaluation of, your skills and your experience, but also, and this is crucial, your cultural fit.
Now, to get through the loop, you have to master 2 things. These are non-negotiable. First, you need to know Amazon's 16 leadership principles inside and out. They are literally the DNA of the company. And second, you have to use the STAR method. That's how they expect you to frame all your answers.
So, what exactly is the STAR method? It's actually a pretty simple but super powerful formula. You describe the situation, explain the task you were given, detail the specific action you took, and then, this is the most important part, you quantify the result. Amazon loves this because it forces you to stop talking in vague terms. You have to prove your impact with real, concrete data and outcomes. For a data role, it's perfect.
So here's your game plan. Do not just try to wing it. It won't work. You need to prepare 8 to 10 solid, unique stories from your career. And for each story, map it to one of those leadership principles. Oh, and here's a serious pro tip. Use AI tools like ChatGPT to run mock interviews with you. Seriously, it's a total game changer for getting your stories polished and your delivery smooth. Okay, so let's say you somehow survived the 4-interview gauntlet. You're feeling good. But hold on. Before you even think about celebrating, you have to face the final boss, the notoriously challenging bar raiser round.
The bar raiser is a really unique part of the Amazon process. This person is an experienced interviewer, but they're from a totally different team, a different part of the company. Their only job is to be an objective voice in the room. Their goal? To make sure every single new hire is better than half the people already working at that level. I mean, they're literally raising the bar. And get this, they have veto power. They can single-handedly kill the entire offer.
So this is the question that probably keeps candidates up at night, right? You've already told your stories in the loop, so just how deep is this final interviewer going to dig?
The answer? All the way. They will go all the way down to the numbers. You absolutely have to be ready to defend specific metrics, justify the trade-offs you made, and explain the why behind every single figure you mention. So if you say a project improved efficiency by 15%, you better be able to explain exactly how you measure that 15%.
Okay, let's fast forward. You've done it. You've passed every round, you impressed the bar raiser, and that beautiful offer email finally arrives. But
This is where a completely new and sometimes tricky challenge begins, the negotiation.
So a typical L5 offer is going to look something like this. You've got your base salary, which is a big chunk, but look closely. The stocks and a bonus actually make up more than half of the total package. And here's a really important detail you can't miss. Those stocks don't even start vesting for a full year.
So here's the exact dilemma that our source ran into. The total compensation package looked great on paper, but the base salary, the guaranteed money, was actually a little less than what they were already making. And for a lot of people, taking a pay cut on your base salary is just a non-starter. And this really brings us to the crucial takeaway here. Big companies like Amazon have these super strict salary bands. The recruiter was totally upfront about it. For an L5 BIE, 30 lakhs was the absolute max they could offer for a base salary. There was zero wiggle room. They couldn't move on it, even if the candidate wanted to trade some stock for more base pay.
All right, let's pull all of this together into a final checklist. These are the critical strategies and key details you need to know to make sure you're 100% prepared.
So here's your final prep list. First, you've got to master your stories using that STAR method. Second, know the numbers on your projects like the back of your hand. Third, practice with mock interviews. Fourth, do your homework and find out the salary band for your level before you even start negotiating. It'll save you a lot of headache. And finally, make sure you understand the stock vesting schedule completely. No surprises.
And last but not least, a few practical details to keep in mind. This role we're talking about is fully in office, 5 days a week. The specific office mentioned in the source was down in southern India. And for your commute, you basically get a choice. You can either take a 4,000 rupee monthly allowance for transportation, or you can have that same amount taken out of your paycheck to use their company transportation. Good to know, right?
So there you have it. That is the complete playbook for tackling the Amazon Business Intelligence Engineer interview. Look, the process is tough, no doubt about it. It's demanding. But as we saw from the start, it is absolutely beatable. You now have the map, so the only question left is, are you ready to run the gauntlet?